Welcome to Folk Stories, where fate flips faster than fortune, and those you look down on might be the ones to lift you up. In the loud and busy city of Mbeki, 17-year-old Ao lives a hard life. Every day, she cleans car windshields at traffic lights, hoping someone will give her a little money. At night, she sleeps under an old broken bridge, hugging her little brother to keep him warm. They have no parents, no home, only each other. One cold and rainy night, as Ao tries to cover her brother with a thin cloth, she hears a strange sound nearby. Groaning. Weak, painful groans coming from the dark corner of the bridge. Curious and worried, she gets up and follows the sound. There, half hidden under torn plastic, lies a man. He's bleeding, badly hurt, and unconscious. People walk past the bridge, some glance over, but no one stops. No one helps. They see just another problem in the street and keep going. But Ao can't. She looks at the man, then at her brother, then back at the man. She feels afraid, but something inside her won't let her walk away. Maybe because she knows what it feels like to be ignored, to be left with nothing. So, without saying a word, she kneels beside the man, covers him with her only blanket, and uses rainwater and pieces of cloth to clean his wounds. Her hands shake, but her heart stays strong. She doesn't know who he is or if he will even live. All she knows is, he needs help. And tonight, she chooses to be the one who stays. Ao had almost nothing. No real home, no warm clothes, and barely enough food to feed herself and her little brother. But still, when she saw that bleeding man under the bridge, something in her heart told her she couldn't just walk away. She dragged him closer to the dry side of the bridge, away from the rain. Then she did the unthinkable, she gave him her only blanket. It was old and torn, but it was all she had to stay warm at night. And still, she wrapped it around him. That night, while her brother slept beside her, Ao stayed awake, listening to the man breathe. His face was pale. His clothes were torn and soaked in blood. She had no idea who he was, but she treated him like family. The next morning, Ao searched the roadside for healing herbs, things she had seen old women use in the streets to treat wounds. She crushed leaves with small stones, chewed a few to soften them, and gently placed them on the man's cuts. He didn't wake. She fed him small bits of the food she had saved for herself and her brother. 2 full days passed like that, Ao taking care of a stranger while hiding him from others who might harm him or call the police. He never said a word. Not even a thank you. But on the second night, just as she was about to fall asleep, he opened his eyes. His voice was weak, like a whisper carried by the wind. "Why, help me?" he asked. Ao looked at him for a moment, then quietly said, "Because nobody helped me. And I survived." Her words came from pain. From years of being invisible to the world. From people walking past her when she was hungry, sick, or cold. From the nights she cried silently, hoping someone would care. And now, even with nothing to give, she chose to care for a man who could give her nothing in return. That night, the man stared at her with tired, confused eyes. Then he closed them again, drifting into sleep. Ao sat beside him, holding her brother close, wondering if the man would live to see the morning, or if he would disappear like everyone else who came and went from her life. But she didn't regret it. Not one bit. To her, kindness was not about what you have. It was about what you choose to do, even when no one is watching, even when no one claps for you. She didn't know his name, or his story, or why he was bleeding under a bridge. But she gave him everything she could. And in that quiet corner of the city, under a bridge everyone ignored, a girl with nothing became someone's only hope. On the third morning, Ao woke up early as usual. The sky was still gray, the air cold. She stretched her arms and looked around like she always did, but something felt strange. The man was gone. The spot where he had been lying was empty. No sound, no sign, nothing. Just the quiet hum of the city waking up in the distance. Ao looked around in panic, thinking maybe he had just moved somewhere nearby. But he had truly disappeared. No thank you. No goodbye. No name. Only a small object left behind beside her pillow, a gold ring. It looked old but shiny, like it had once belonged to someone important. Ao picked it up carefully. It didn't make her smile. It made her nervous. She had seen things like this before, stolen things that got people into trouble. Maybe he left it by mistake. Maybe it meant something. Or maybe it was just payment. She didn't know. But she wrapped it in cloth and hid it deep in her bag. Days passed. Then weeks. Ao kept going. Cleaning car windows during the day, feeding her brother with whatever coins she earned, and sleeping under the same old bridge every night. Life didn't change. The man didn't come back. She started to wonder if she had imagined it all. But the ring was still there. Silent and shiny. And then, something worse happened, her little brother got sick. At first, it was just a small cough. Then came the fever. He shivered all night, his body burning like fire. Ao tried everything she knew, herbs, wet cloths, even begging for help from strangers, but nothing worked. His eyes looked tired, his voice soft and weak. Ao was terrified. She couldn't lose him. He was all she had. She sat by his side, holding his hand, crying quietly as the city moved on above them like nothing was wrong. And then, her hand touched her bag. The ring. It was still there. She pulled it out and stared at it. Her fingers trembled. She thought about pawning it. Selling it for just enough to buy real medicine. Real food. She hated the idea, but what choice did she have? What if this was the only way to save her brother? She didn't know where the ring came from, who it truly belonged to, or if someone would come looking for it. But right now, none of that mattered. All she knew was that her brother needed help. And the one thing she had left might be the answer. Still, it hurt her inside. Not because she cared about the ring, but because it was the only proof she had that the man had ever been real. That someone had left her something. That her kindness had meant something. She looked at her brother, his face pale and sweating. Her heart broke. She held the ring tightly in her hand, thinking, praying, deciding. In the city of Mbeki, life was never fair. But maybe, just maybe, this one small gold ring held more than it seemed. Maybe it was a key. Maybe it was a promise. It was just another hot, dusty afternoon in Mbeki. Ao stood at her usual spot near the traffic lights, wiping windshields and hoping someone would drop a coin or two. Her brother was still recovering, weak but slowly getting better. Every day felt the same: noise, people, cars, horns. No one noticed her. No one cared. But then something unusual happened. A line of shiny black SUVs rushed through the main road, escorted by police bikes. People stopped and stared. Traffic paused. Cameras flashed. Everyone turned their heads to look. Ao watched too, curious, wiping sweat from her forehead. Something big was happening. Not long after, a group of people crowded around a street shop with a small TV. Ao moved closer. On the screen, news reporters were talking fast, their faces excited. The words at the bottom of the screen read, "Breaking news, billionaire tech genius Zuberi Omondi found alive after disappearing weeks ago." Photos flashed. Of Zuberi in suits, smiling, standing in front of buildings, shaking hands with presidents. Ao's heart skipped. Then, her eyes widened. There, on the screen, was a photo of him, Zuberi, alive, clean, standing tall. But Ao didn't see a billionaire. She saw the bleeding man under the bridge. The one she had fed. The one she had covered with her only blanket. The man who whispered, "Why help me," and left without a word, only a gold ring behind. It was him. There was no mistake. His face was burned into her memory forever. Ao stepped back, shocked. The crowd cheered, people clapped, others took videos on their phones. "He's back," someone shouted. "He's alive," another said. But Ao said nothing. She stood there quietly as the noise grew louder around her. Her chest felt heavy. All those nights she had wondered who he was, and now she knew. He wasn't just any man. He was one of the richest, most powerful people in the country. The whole city had been looking for him. And she, the invisible girl under the bridge, had saved him. She looked down at her hands, still rough, still dirty from work. She touched the small bag where the gold ring still rested. The same ring he had left for her. Suddenly, it wasn't just a ring anymore. It was a sign. A quiet thank you. A silent promise. But still, he had left without a word. No message. No name. Nothing. Ao walked back to the bridge slowly that day, thoughts racing in her mind. Should she have said something? Told someone? Claimed she was the one who helped him? The truth pressed heavy on her lips, but she kept it inside. She didn't want applause. She didn't need to prove anything. In a world that had ignored her all her life, she was used to being silent. And yet, deep in her heart, something had changed. The world now saw a miracle, a man saved from the edge of death. But only she knew the real miracle, that a girl with nothing had given everything, and it had mattered more than she ever thought possible. It was just another quiet morning under the old bridge. Ao sat beside her brother, brushing dust off his face as he slept. She had returned to the same place she always did, her safe corner under the city's noise. Life had not changed much, even after she saw the man she once saved on the news. People still rushed past her. The city still didn't see her. But Ao remembered. She remembered his face, his wounds, his whisper. And she remembered the ring, still hidden deep inside her small bag like a secret only she could understand. Suddenly, the silence broke. Heels clicked against the pavement. A car door slammed gently. Ao looked up. A woman stood before her, tall, clean, and dressed like someone from the rich side of town. Her clothes were neat, her eyes sharp. She held a photo in her hand. She bent down, looked directly at Ao, and asked in a calm voice, "Have you seen this girl?" Ao stared at the photo. Her heart stopped. It was her. A photo of herself, probably taken from a street camera. Her hair was messy, her face tired, but there was no mistake. That was her. Ao nodded slowly, unsure of what to say. Then everything happened fast. The hum of engines, the sudden flash of black cars, those same SUVs she had seen before, rushed toward the bridge. Ao stood up quickly, holding her brother's hand, scared. People in suits stepped out. Then, the last car door opened. He stepped out. Zuberi Omondi. Clean, dressed in a sharp black suit, sunglasses in hand. The man the whole city cheered for. The man who was once dying in her arms. But now, he looked like a king. And yet, his eyes, those same tired, kind eyes, looked straight at her. He didn't hesitate. He walked toward her slowly, calmly. Then, in front of everyone, his team, the city's eyes, the curious crowd gathering around, he did something no one expected. He knelt. Right there, under the bridge, in front of the girl no one saw. He gently took her hand, the same hand that once cleaned his wounds. Then, he kissed it. Not like a man thanking a stranger, but like someone honoring a queen. Ao didn't move. She couldn't even breathe. Her heart pounded in her chest. Zuberi looked up at her and spoke softly. "You gave me life. Let me give you the world. Tears welled up in Ao's eyes. Not because he was rich, not because the city was watching, but because someone had finally seen her. Really seen her. The girl under the bridge. The girl with nothing. And now, her moment had come, not by luck, not by magic, but by kindness. The bridge had once been her shelter. Now, it was the place where everything changed. After that day at the bridge, everything changed for Ao and her little brother. No more sleeping under cold cement. No more washing with dirty water or eating scraps. Zuberi didn't just thank her with words, he took action. That same night, he brought Ao and her brother to his home. Not just any home, it was a large, beautiful house with soft beds, clean clothes, and warm meals. Ao had never seen anything like it. Her brother's eyes lit up as he held a real toy for the first time. For Ao, it didn't feel real. It felt like a dream. She had lived in shadows for so long that the light almost scared her. But Zuberi didn't stop at giving them comfort. He gave them a future. He enrolled both of them in school. Real school. Uniforms, books, pencils, the works. Ao was nervous at first. She thought she might not fit in. But Zuberi believed in her. And more than anything, her little brother needed her to be strong. So, she went. And day by day, Ao learned to hope again. Then came the biggest surprise. Zuberi invited her to his office, a tall building filled with smart people and shiny glass windows. There, he announced something that made Ao speechless. He had started a foundation, a big, powerful organization to help street children. But not just that. He named it after her, the Ao Life Fund. And he made her part owner. Not just a face for the media, but someone with a seat at the table. Ao, the girl who once begged at car windows, now had her own desk, her own voice. She would help decide where the money went, which children needed help, and how to make real change. When the news came out, it spread like fire. TV stations, newspapers, online videos, everyone wanted to know about the girl who saved a billionaire. People who once ignored her, who walked past her like she was invisible, now clapped when they saw her. Some even cried. Others said, I always knew there was something special about her, though they had never looked her way before. Ao didn't care about fame. What mattered to her was seeing other children get help. Blankets, food, places to sleep, schools, and safety. She visited shelters and smiled at kids who reminded her of herself. She told them, you matter. You are not forgotten. And they believed her, because she had lived it. But deep inside, Ao stayed the same. Kind. Quiet. Strong. She never forgot the bridge, the nights in the cold, or the way the world had once turned away. But now, she used her pain to bring healing to others. The city that once saw her as nothing now saw her as a light. A girl with nothing had become a leader with everything, but not because she chased riches. Because she chose kindness. And kindness changed everything. Years later, the girl who once slept under a broken bridge now stood on a shining stage in Accra, the capital of Ghana. Ao was no longer the invisible girl with dusty feet and tired eyes. She wore gold and white, standing tall and proud. Her voice was calm, but full of strength. The room was filled with important people from all over the world, leaders, thinkers, dreamers. Cameras pointed at her. Lights flashed. But Ao didn't speak for fame. She spoke for the forgotten. She looked at the crowd, then said slowly, kindness isn't about what you have. It's about who you are, especially when no one's watching. The room went silent. Then came the sound of claps, slow at first, then louder, stronger. Everyone stood. A standing ovation. Not because of her clothes. Not because of her title. But because her words were real. She had lived them. And in the back of that room, almost hidden behind a pillar, sat a small child. Alone. Thin. Wearing torn clothes. A homeless child, just like Ao once was. He watched her with wide eyes, holding a piece of bread someone had given him. For the first time in his life, he saw someone who looked like him, someone who had made it. In that moment, something lit up in the child's heart. A tiny flame of hope. He whispered to himself, maybe one day, I can be like her. And just like that, under all the lights and speeches, the bridge built another dream. When a heart is pure, even a bridge becomes a throne. Keep watching Folk Stories, where the smallest souls write the biggest legends.